We're going to take what we learned in the last video and put the two ideas together. We're going to find a polynomial GCF. So we're going to find the GCF of the terms given, and then we're going to decide, hey, what do I multiply to that in order to get my correct factors. It's really a lot like doing the reverse of distribution. So let me say that one more time because it's really important. You guys know how to do distribution. We multiply something through any terms in a parenthesis. We're now going to undo distribution. Let's look at the first example, and I think that will help you understand a little bit. On our first example, we have two terms here, the 2x squared and the negative 10x. You only have to worry about negatives if they come first in your polynomial. This is a binomial, so we're going to find our numeric factor first. Since I have 2 and 10, and 2 and 10, the GCF is going to be 2. That's the biggest number I can divide into both of them. Next, the biggest variable, I've got x squared and I have x. So the largest thing I can factor out is just an x. Then I put my parentheses. And just like that first example on this page, in example 1, I'm going to ask myself, what can I multiply to 2x to make 2x squared? So I want to fill in this blank. All right, how do I go from here to get back to that 2x squared? And it would be simply an x to the first, although we don't need that one. Then I still have that minus. And now I want to ask myself, what do I need to multiply to 2x to get 10x? So 2x times what equals 10x? And that will be 5. We want to check to see if that's correct by distributing. That's an easy way. You can just do this in your head. 2x times x is 2x squared. And 2x times negative 5 is 2 times 5 is 10, and then just x. So we can see that we have our original value. So it does work. Factoring, but remember, this was my final answer. Factoring a GCF is undoing distribution. Those are opposite operations. Let's go a little bit faster with example B. And for example B, I've got, let's see, my two terms are 14u to the fourth and 35u squared. So I still want to think about my 14, and I want to think about all the factors. So 1, 2, 7, and 14. Now, which one of those numbers would divide evenly into 35, and it's going to be the 7. So my numerical factor is 7, and then I'm going to take a look at those variables. So I've got u to the fourth and u squared. The smallest one is u squared. So that's my GCF. Right? So this is my GCF for this binomial. Okay, so then I'm going to ask myself, okay, so what times 7u squared would give me 14u to the fourth? And that numerical number is 2. And what times u squared gives me u to the fourth? It's u squared. I think this will start coming together a little bit more for you now. And then what times u squared gives me 35u squared? Well, the u squared is already there. So what times 7 gives me 35? And it would be the 5. If you're not sure of your answer, then you want to just do a quick distribution either in your head or on your paper. In example C, we now have a trinomial. So you're going to have to concentrate on all three terms. My smallest number is the 12. So that's the only one I need to worry about to start with. The factors of 12, we talked about this before. It's got a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 itself. Okay. Then what I want to do is see which, okay, so of the 16, the 12, and the 18. So which one of these numbers, well, 12 does not divide into all of them. How about 6? 6 does not go into 16. 4 does not go into 18. 3 does not go into 16. So the GCF, since they're all even, is just going to be the 2. The 2 is the GCF there. Next, I want to look at my variables. So I've got a cubed, a squared, and a. Notice there's no b in any in the first term, so b will not be a factor. But my smallest is just a. So now, what times 2a would give me that 16a cubed? And it would be 8a squared. And next, what times 2a would give me, I'm going to have minus, so 2 times 6 gives me that 12. A times a gives me that a squared. And I would need that b cubed because I don't have any b in my original factor. And finally, what times 2 would give me 18? And that would be 9. And what times a would give me a? Well, nothing. I don't need an a there, but I do need a b. And this is my factored form here. I want you to try example D on your own. Let's see if you can do it. I'll give you a moment, and then we'll take a look at the answer together. Well, hopefully you were able to figure out that we've got 5, 5, and 25. So the greatest common factor of all three of those would be the 5. And then I've got the a to the fourth, a squared, and just the lowly a. So whatever is the smallest one always goes on the outside. So what times 5a gives me 5a to the fourth, and that would be a to the third. What times 5a gives me negative 5a squared, and that's going to be a negative. The 5's already there. If you want to, you could put a 1, but you do not have to. It's just going to be a. And finally, what times 5a gives me 25a, and it would simply be a 5. Let's see how you guys did on that one. E and F are very unique, where we've got these two groups, and they're sometimes tricky to see where to break them into their two parts. This is called factoring by grouping, and the hardest part is to figure out where to break apart the two groups. This is another one that just takes practice. What you'll notice, though, is that we've got this repetitive binomial, this m minus n, always inside the parentheses. And that gives you a clue as to kind of where the two groups are. It also turns out that that is the GCF of each of these groups, and that's what I'm going to factor out, that m minus n. So what times m minus n would give me 5m minus n? Oh my gosh, that's a mouthful. It's going to be the 5. So I'm going to use parentheses instead of multiplication. And then over here, what's left over? It's this minus m. Once again, this just takes some practice, and once you get it, it's actually really easy, and it's much easier than the first 3 problems we did. Let me go a little bit faster. If you notice right away, 2r plus 5 and 2r plus 5. And I want to factor both of those out. I want to factor the 2r plus 5. Another way to think of it is we're going to factor those out so they're gone completely. And what's left over, I needed to put this 1 in there because there's always that hidden 1. It ends up being r cubed minus 1. And that is the factored result.